Okay, decided to double check the mic there. Alright, hello everyone. So, I decided to do this a little live because I think this is going to be on the typical recording session on the PS5 that I've been doing. So we're going to do live despite my issues with it and all that. But anyway, we're in the Korn Ferry finals. So this is like the playoffs of the Korn Ferry. We're in the second event. Had a very good last round. So we're going to round 3 of the second playoff event out of 3. To be fair, this is not a real... Well, let me rephrase that. The playoffs is real. This Korn Ferry Championship, the United logo is real. But a lot of the others are kind of loosely based on the real thing. Like, these aren't really the real tournaments in terms of the name or the sponsorship. There's no sponsorships to begin with. Or even where the courses it technically takes place. Like, these are real courses, but these are not like where it is actually on the schedule in real life. But they're trying to just replicate the minor leagues and so forth. But anyway, we got 2 more rounds in Charlotte, and I want to stream the final. So we're gonna see how it goes and so forth. But anyway, real quick, you see my golfer. The clothes are still the default changes, but I got like a unique hat. You can't really see it right now, unfortunately. We'll go later. I got some cool Nike shoes, and of course I got the TaylorMade Augusta bag that was in the store. So, but anyway,
EA Sports.
Also, I turned on the
Korn Ferry
menu
Tour
and commentary.
are proud to bring you this look at the future stars in the sport of golf. From the Quail Hollow Club.
But overall in this video, it's kind of show you the playoffs. Also, we kind of go over some stuff I'm thinking about doing with this series, and also probably 2K as well. I haven't really uploaded 2K videos before, but I thought about doing 1 or 2.
The Saturday leaderboard. Some good names up there, including our leader.
But first, let's kind of focus on this turn. We're at Quail Hollow.
Just after the turn as we begin
personally, I like Quail Hollow quite a bit.
Not
because how I'm doing this game. It's been kind of honestly 50-50. But more so, it's a very beautiful course. I've been very thankful to actually attend a tournament before. I went to the President's Cup last fall. That was at Quail Hollow. Very gorgeous course. It's a private course, unfortunately, so I will never probably likely play on it in real life. But that said, gorgeous course, kind of pretty old school looking. It's kind of narrow, a lot of trees and stuff. You kind of see it on the older courses. They're kind of developed, let's say pre, the first half of the 20th century and so forth, where there was like, less. Hold on 1 second here. I'm trying to see this arc here. It looks like it's not going to clip the tree. Okay. Anyway, I was saying they're narrow, a lot of trees on the side, so it's really about accuracy. And while some of them do have gone longer over the years of renovations and so forth, here it's more about accuracy. Trying to get your shots in the right spot, especially in regards to your approach shot with the fairway and so forth. Some of these courses, these older courses, it's like you can be in the fairway, but let's say like Augusta, which is very common, but you're like in one corner of the fairway, and it's like you really don't have any angle to reach the green. It's just blocked by trees and so forth. That's like what you see a lot in the classic designs. Well, the newer ones are more wider open, in terms of like the tougher ones, but then they have like let's say a lot of rolling hills or a lot of sand dunes everywhere. So they still kind of push accuracy, but it's more about allowing the elements of like wind and stuff come more into play than just worrying about trees. Let's say that's probably the best way to kind of put it for let's say if you aren't too familiar with like course architecture, and even I'm a very amateur when it comes to course architecture, but I'm trying to learn more of it. It's very fascinating, kind of seeing the differences between like Donald Ross or like Robert Trent Jones Jr. and all that, because there's just so many different elements that have come into course architecture. There's another kind of famous architect of some of this courses in this game, like PGA West or TBC Sawgrass, Home Players Championship. Then compared to like Pebble Beach, which is kind of like very different architect, and like
It is, Rich. The two bunkers down the left side.
So there's a lot of different elements that comes to golf architecture. It's really quite fast. There's actually a lot of fans, we call nerds, that kind of like study this stuff. It's pretty in depth. Like you go down this rabbit hole, and this how much has changed over the years and kind of where it's going at nowadays. And then also a lot of elements, in terms of, I hate to say it, but money. Like, you look at like some of the course architectures. Let's say, let's say a course that's run by your parks district compared to like a private run entity. There's some differences too. Like the park districts are usually a little more wider, a little more straight, less in depth. Not always. There's some very good municipality courses like Torrey Pines and so forth, but a lot of them aren't just super in depth. They're very kind of, in a weird way, a little bare bones, just trying to, have a simple course with some challenge, obviously with bunkers and stuff, and obviously it comes down to the individual golfer themselves. But it isn't trying to be like the toughest course in golf. It's not like a private course that the U.S. Open goes to or Augusta National Golf Club. It's a very different beast entirely. I think that's okay. Yeah, a little roll, but I can take that.
And that ball looked very good in the air.
I just made the cut. Like, all I'm trying to do, I think to get to the PGA Tour, you need to finish in the top 25. I actually have some comments about that, and unfortunately it won't be probably captured on the stream. Maybe it will be in the last tournament, we'll see. Hold on a second, let me make this putt. Oh, I can't believe that we did.
Start to this backside, back-to-back birdies here at 10 and 11. And that's going to move him to 6 under par.
It's pretty funny with this tournament.
Another really pretty hole. There's so many.
The auto simulate keeps putting me like, over par for the day, and I've been like kind of fighting to get under par for like for my few holes I get. That it kind of simulates that to an extent, or it keeps me an even. But it's like for some reason the simulation this really wants to punish me. But what was weird in round 2, the cut was +5, and to put in perspective, that's pretty high. Like Augusta, like the Masters this year, it ended up being +3 because of all the weather and issues, like tons of delays. And the second round wasn't done until like Saturday morning. And it would have been usually it probably would have been +2 if it wasn't under normal conditions, but it ended up being +3 because of all the rain and elements impacting people's scores. And that's high. Like a typical week like this week, this is RBC Heritage. I think it's on -1 or -2.
Walking the course today, let's bring in.
I think it was -1 all said and done.
152 to the hole.
That puts it in perspective. If you see +5, that's very abnormal. Like in terms of even like a regular, especially the Korn Ferry, but on the regular event. Obviously the majors is different. They're usually designed tougher, but yeah, the computer simulation for this tournament is like going bananas in terms of difficulty. And where people are going, that would be okay. All right, great. I've been getting better at trying to understand the difference between the elevation and wind, because weather's throwing me off. Because be like, let's say be like 8 feet below, but then like 3 wind behind the ball, which is not a lot per se, but it's enough to carry the ball a few extra yards. So it kind of offsets the elevation changes. So I'm trying to get better at understanding that. Also, apologize, the putt looked kind of weird. I'm trying to get better at being slower with the putting stroke. That seems to keep a lot more in line than the old ones. It was kind of like zigzaggy with some of my previous videos.
208 yards, and this begins a series of holes that will test.
Now, with the full swings, you do need some speed, so you can't go as slow. With the putting, you can't. It's
the PGA Tour. Anything above the hole on this green is going to be very, very fast. Also, the right side of this green, if you look carefully, if you try and hit your iron shot of the right side, it has a tendency to kick further right, and more than often, it actually rolls off the green.
Sorry, when I say that, I mean like elevation change. Like this ball is going to roll a bit because it's a 5 iron. But it'd be on the green. I'm just, after the last 2 birdies,
obviously well struck,
be okay
a little too hot, and that one's going to run out and leave him a much longer birdie putt than he would have hoped for.
I think I'm starting to get a little better with the brakes. We're trying to understand how these brakes in the game. Okay, I don't have enough power, so that's okay.
Yeah,
we're less than 3
right
feet.
From that distance, he'll settle.
Oh, I keep misreading those.
Okay, that one finished off. It is a bogey here at unlucky number 13.
It was a good run.
Now he's going to pull a couple of shots off the pace.
So I did finally win the Korn Ferry Tour. I actually uploaded a video. I didn't really commentary. I didn't do any commentary on it, but there's a chance that my mic was so. There's a chance the PlayStation mic was still on. That I didn't mean to. It's just accidentally and stuff. But so I'll keep an eye on that. It's uploaded. I haven't edited it in terms of the title and stuff. But yeah, I did want to do a little changes to it. Mostly just kind of out any dead air time in the beginning and afterwards mostly, and then uploading it. But it felt good. Again, I've been playing these quick modes, so it only does a few holes each round. It was at Band of Springs, I believe, but it's on the Canadian. The Canadian course that's in this game.
Relatively close range.
Gorgeous course, by the way. I believe it is a real course out in Calgary, and it's in the middle of the mountains, and it's just unbelievably gorgeous. You're basically playing in between these feel like mountain valleys. You got these beautiful pine trees everywhere. So, definitely, I think it's a resort course. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't done really much research on the course itself.
Really, it's a waste after that.
Very beautiful. It'd be very cool to kind of check out one day. So,
this for birdie.
But anyway, in this game, it looked really good. It was really fun to play. A nice mix of holes between
a little firmer to take some of the break.
The par threes, some elevation changes. It was kind of neat. Some of the fairways are kind of narrow on that course. I kind of discussed it before, but then it had a lot of rough. It'd be a big open field of rough also in play. So it's narrow fairway, but if you're at least offline, in terms of hooking or off to the left, it was still being played, just being the rough. So anyway, kind of really like that type of design. It's a nice mix of, giving some players options in terms of they're not the most accurate. I thought I had that.
Just a couple of feet.
But anyway, so this course, we kind of see all the trees. It's really no room for error either way. While Band of Springs, this gave you some room for error if you're hooking the ball quite a bit. In terms of broadly speaking, not in terms of this. Your professional player in this game, just broadly speaking, in terms of the average amateur. Okay, if you're hooking the ball a lot, you're going to be in the rough over there, but at least you can still play it. Obviously,
a bit of a struggle here on this Saturday 4-hour featured golfer.
Yeah, so I did. I thought it did pretty well. We had
a lot of work.
Yeah, so we did
step in the wrong direction.
2 under in 4 holes. And we still won over the day, so it doesn't really matter.
Flip side of that, how often do you play?
Yeah, for some reason this tournament, the AI is really punishing everyone. Even the leaders only -6, while some of these other tournaments are a lot higher. I can show you here in a minute. Yeah, so this one took some water here. Yeah, so. Yeah, 16, 15 under, 13, 18, 14. That's a low one. 9, 10, 16. Let's see where we're going to be at as we go into the final round. So the leader's at -10. So they dropped me back even further. So, yeah. This is the downside. I knew this was probably going to happen in the quick rounds, but to be fair, I kind of accepted that. Really, I'm just trying to get into the PGA Tour.
Korn Ferry Tour
now, I want to be fair. There are actually there's quests in this game, which you kind of might see in the menus. It says make the cut at Augusta. That's the majors quest. You actually quest for the Korn Ferry and the regular PGA Tour.
Sometimes
the Korn Ferry is actually win each event.
By the time twilight comes,
so to be fair, to be 100% fair, I find that a little annoying because do that,
got a tie at the top here.
So to do that, there's a big flaw in doing that. One, if you win 3 times in the season, Korn Ferry, you get automatically promoted to the PGA Tour.
7 shots.
You get your card with that. That's a way to get there without going to the finals. Or let's say partially in the finals, so you get your 3rd win in the 1st or 2nd playoff event. Then you're done. You don't have to continue playing anymore in the Korn Ferry Tour. So that's kind of a flaw in that regard. And then B, it's like there's 10 events, which is not really replicating of a real season in reality. But I think it's kind of like a nice, way to kind of see, how the Korn Ferry is set up. But my point is, there's 10 events, and you already went 3. So in reality, you're gonna have to create multiple characters to complete each quest. Like, it's nearly impossible to do it on 1, even 2 characters. Let's say a little too hot.
Boy, that one did not want to slow down at all, and it winds up running right through the green.
So, but I'm saying, like, okay, let's say I have a character that wins the first 3 events, which is there you go. You completed the first 3 quests of the Korn Ferry Tour. You're done. You don't continue, and you got 7 other events you got to figure out. So now, okay, now you do another character.
Frank, what do you think?
That you make sure you don't win the first 3 events. Then you win the next 3 events. And then you got to have another character that wins the next 3 events after that. So the point is, you're kind of seeing here, it's like, it's kind of like, my point is, it's like, it's really flawed. I always get confused when it does these short offs. I don't know why, but it's like a brain fart.
Okay, that's going to be finished off for his bogey. And that's going to drop him to 2 under.
Well. I mean, we're still going to get points for this. Like, the whole goal is just to make sure we're in the top 25 or the top 10 now. Anyway, but I was saying, like, it's a big flaw with that because with the PGA Tour, if you're on the PGA Tour, it was kind of like a baseball season or NFL. You continue each season at the highest level. You don't go back into the minors. Well, I guess I'm going to show you could if you're playing really horribly. But in reality, it's like, in the PGA Tour, the only way you can go back and play those events and you get demoted. And that actually might be in this game. I'm not entirely sure, to be fair. But it's like, the odds are, though, for a lot of players, not a lot of that happen. They're going to make sure they play well enough to stay in the PGA Tour. So that's kind of one of the flaws in regards to the quest. And there's some, overall, this has been a really good game. I've really liked it.
That one gonna split
but there are a few things I would say flaws or issues I do have. That would be one of them. I do think I'm going to have a video eventually to kind of cover that. So I thought it'd be kind of more interesting to kind of go over that, what I like and don't like of this game. And eventually I think I want to try and do... that's not bad. Also try to do a 2K video, kind of going with the career modes and comparisons.
6 feet now for birdie.
All right.
No, that's not on target. He just hasn't been able to make much happen here. Okay, safely in for his paw.
No, just keep blowing putting here. Doesn't help. They already put me at 3 over, 2 over for the day.
We now come to the final par 5 of the day. The picturesque 577-yard, 15 dogleg left with a second shot over water. This hole.
But anyway, so that's kind of the flaw with some of the quests in regards to where we are in the career mode and stuff, and kind of like that. Now that said, there are also quests where you do need to create like another player. Like they have like, the Augusta women's, amateur, which obviously you can't play as a guy. It's
just what you want at this point.
So those I understand. Or like the Evian Championships in this,
that's what they did right there.
Major for the women's grand. Again, same situation, which I understand. I doubt I'll make it, but I'm willing to take the risk to get up there and see what happens. So we're gonna go for that bunker, which is okay. For some reason, out of bunkers, they go really well.
Is well protected. That's two good shots, but that bunker's there for a reason. Now, with some nifty sand play, we're looking at 4.
So I see a little break here. I say we just, go, right there. See, it's going to break a little bit. There we go.
Okay, a good out, and that's what will remain for birdie. And this will be a 5-foot putt here. Oh, right by the hole. The longer putts, you don't mind as much. The short ones, they tend to sting. Okay, a solid par here at the 15th.
Every hole has got braces.
He'll stay right where he is. Now to the 16th hole. It is a better than 500-yard par 4, and it begins what they call the Green Mile. It is as tough a finishing stretch as you will find.
So I actually got some
golf.
comments on this course.
Also beautiful
I think
to
I'm
the
going to
eye
save
when
a
you
lot
stand
of
on
it
that
really
16th
for
tee.
the
It does
Wells
play
Fargo
downhill nearly 10
Championship,
yards.
the PGA
So
Tour, and that's in the
bunker on the
schedule
right
because
side
it
is
is a very good
320.
tournament,
Take away
and
the
it's
10,
an
so it's
elevated
about
tournament this
310 to
year.
carry. If you can take that line,
but I
you
will say
see
this, at least
so
right
much off the
now.
And then the second shot also is a little down breeze, and it has like an infinity edge. You can't see the back of the screen. What a great way to start the Green Mile.
Talk about flirting with fire. But yeah, they got the thing called the Green Mile, as I mentioned, and this is one of the holes. It kind of hugs this lake, and it's it's a very tough, really stretch of holes here. I think this would be okay. Because unfortunately, if you go too far, you go in the lake. So I'm just trying to. Ooh. I'd rather be short because I know let's do some roll. Yeah, this would be okay. Yeah, that worked out really well. You see how that rolled? I'm afraid the last couple would have landed right around that pin and then roll into the rough and eventually into the lake. So this is that is what I wanted to do. Get some roll towards the hole from the backside of the green. Oh, we got one.
Oh, yes. Plenty of pace to get up that slope. It is in for a birdie.
Yeah, the Green Mile is kind of like the stretch here at
3 under par.
Here in Charlotte.
Next up is Quail Hollow.
I say it's a very beautiful stretch, this lake and stuff, but it's like I can just tell you from like a design standpoint, I'm like, man, that is brutal. If you're just offline a little bit, or a little too far, or a little too short, I mean, you really get no forgiveness. You get really no room for here. Like this one here, okay. So let's explain. Let's look at this one. So the 4 is going to make it, but here's the problem: we're 19 feet from the hole. Yeah, see, we're elevated from this hole across the lake. So where this hole is across the lake is a lower level than we are. Now, if we're like in that forward tee, one more time we do a forward here. See the forward tee on the left there, we zoom by, then it'll be about the same level, but not from here. So we need to go down one club. We got to be careful here because we can't be short enough, or we're gonna basically be here. We're gonna basically be in the lake. So I'm gonna try the 5-iron here. Yeah, I went a little over, but hopefully it's okay. Oh, I think it'll be okay. Wow. See, I misjudged it.
By the water, and with good reason, as that is safe, but in the rough.
That was lucky. I thought we were doomed right there, to be honest. But you see what I'm talking about? Like, there's just no room for error. And then we birdie anyway with a chip and go figure.
That is in.
Oh, you gotta look off. But anyway, you see that? It's like, I misjudged it a bit. Next you know, I'm in the rough. Thankfully we got there, but literally I was only a few feet away from being in the water and having a drop penalty. What sucks in golf.
No, and the decision you have to make on the tee as well, Rick. You see the stream all the way down the left side, plus the bunker.
Drop the ball when it crosses the water. So from there, you have no choice but to re-tee it off. And then you got to basically, you're going to overcompensate at that point. You're going to go basically onto the green beyond the hole for like a long putt. You know, and now you're putting for bogey, which you'll likely miss unless you're very good at making, let's say, a 30, 40-foot putt. Then you got a double bogey. So that's how quickly things can change. Actually, I went to this hole when I visited the course of for the President's Cup. Very beautiful. Yeah, see the crowd there on the side? I was literally over there during. Now you probably wonder why they're way back there. Well, let's see. Let's see how good it looks when we get down there. It's very hilly over there. Like, there's really no room to really stand on that. Well, you can't stand that hill, but it's a pretty steep angle. Hopefully we can see it kind of like
here.
From down
that is
here.
Into the fairway.
So it kind of represents it pretty well. Like you look on the left there.
A nice high shot that just holds
it looks.
From that
It's
left
steeper
side
than it
would
looks
be
in this
perfect.
game.
But
it's a pretty
so
steep
hard to
hill,
get the
and it's
ball
like
all
there's
the
really no
way
room
back,
to really
'cause the
stand
second
until you
shot
get
is
above the
played
hill.
slightly uphill.
And I did see a
Only
few
3/4
shots get
of
over
the
there, and
club.
these golfers kind of cross like these little bridges here. They get over to hit their shot at that rough. I mean, it looked brutal, to be honest. I'm going to take the risk and stick with the 3 here. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of.
Well, had a good look at the green, but couldn't hash it in the rough now, wondering what might have been.
Yeah, did not expect that. But yeah, so you have that creek there, and you have the steep hill. So, and you kind of saw it. It's not a. The game makes it easier, but in reality, it's tough. You're just offline a bit to the left. I mean, you're really screwed on this hole.
So that is going to leave a sour taste here at the end of the round. Okay, a shake of the head as that one is finished off.
I would say it's a gorgeous final hole.
Slide backwards to 3 under par. That'll wrap it up from here in the tower at Quail Hollow. I'm Rich Lerner. For Frank Novelo and all of us here at EA Sports, thank you for playing along, and we'll see you next time.
But look, I'm going to take a top 10 finish. So we're 7th, so we're in a good spot to get into the top 25 for the Korn Ferry Finals. So, all you got to do is play Pebble Beach, get enough points, and we should be there to get into the PGA Tour next year. And I'm feeling better for my golfer to go into the PGA Tour. Like, I kind of passed up on it with the qualification from Q School when it did it like 2 or 3 times.
EA Sports
at least the second
and the
time.
Korn Ferry Tour.
I think it was second. I think it was the 3rd time I got it. But anyway,
from around the globe.
It's kind of lucky too.
From scenic Pebble Beach, it's live first round coverage of the season finale.
But it's like I didn't feel confident going into the tour yet to play
this is going to be a
tour conditions without like looking at my golf course key areas and so forth. Like now, I'm not hooking the ball as bad. I've added power so I can handle these longer holes better.
Including our
and it makes a big difference in my opinion.
So let's get you out to the action on the turn as we head to the tee at the par 4 10.
But yeah, we're at the famous Pebble Beach.
Nice swing. The result is going to be a tee shot.
Literally one of the best courses in the world.
Fine.
Like so gorgeous, you can't. You know, when I've seen this game, now I haven't really played much here. I've done a lot. Like, there's a lot of challenges with the coaching challenges here, so that's what I've done.
Pin in the middle, so it's a green light.
I'm looking at this. It's not. It's just a little win. But yeah, from what I said, it's a gorgeous course. And what's kind of cool, it does a mix of both of like, this holes that you're kind of like in. You know, like in the middle of the land, basically, and other holes are kind of like right off the ocean. So it's like a balance of like a mix of holes between like being exposed to the elements of the ocean and wind, while you're also at times a little more inland. You got trees and stuff in play, and it's like not as much. You know, where some of the natural elements will be less. Natural elements, stuff like the wind is less in play, is basically, like links style is so wide open across the course, it's always in play. Here it's a mix of like links and inland, like parkland golf, basically.
Nope.
I bet you that early putting stroke issue caused that.
So that's in for a par to start this backside.
That's kind of cool to show like people walking on the beach like in real life. It looked a little awkward there. There's walking, but whatever.
Well, this is where Pebble Beach changes significantly. We're going away from the Pacific Ocean now, up the hill toward the forest. Frank, what do you think of the 11th hole?
It's tricky, Rich. Number one, because it's blind, as you've detailed, but uphill and it's sea level, so that tee shot's not going to go that far. There is a run out down that left side, just inside the tree line there. That's about 308 yards, but you're not going to go that far. So really, you have to respect this hole. Just hit a fairway fine.
So as they're saying, you see, now we're going back away from the ocean into inland a bit. So, and obviously some of the wind and stuff is not far. Like there's so many elements of the ocean, like the marine layer. Sometimes you got like rain and stuff that would be right off the ocean, but then like inland's pretty calm.
It's a short one, but it's also
let's say like 5-10 miles inland.
Because it's uphill and that green tilts back at you so much, you can't afford to hit a shot that spins too much, and you cannot afford to be short. Now, just remember, these greens are small. This one is only 24 yards deep, so anything in the middle of the green, and you can't really have a putt more than 20 feet.
Okay.
So that's the target.
It's going to roll backwards, of course.
In golf, you've heard the term mulligan. You just
I keep forgetting to look at
that's very poor from that range.
Thanks, Frank. I know to keep looking. See, when I landed, I didn't say like I spin much backwards, but just overall the green elevates, slopes back towards the fairways. So yeah, I should think more about it. That's kind of part of the strategy in this game. That is really fun. It really makes you think of the holes and the course layout and just how it kind of reacts. Yeah, it's not gonna work it. Oh, it did. I thought I didn't have enough speed. Wow.
Way out. That somehow goes down for a birdie.
Yeah, so I think we could, for future, I'm going to try and do this, or maybe do 2 videos back to back of like some of the same courses in both games. So Pebble Beach was added 2K recently. So we kind of need to see how compare and contrast, because obviously the layouts be the same. That's not going to be the big difference. The big difference to me, I think, is just the way the games are built in terms of the physics, how the ball reacts, how the rough reacts. Because that's the one thing I have seen in this game is like between different courses, they feel very different, like in terms of like how they react and like where the ball lands and so forth. While like 2K, it felt like a lot of the courses felt the same in terms of how they react. Not in terms of the design or when you add wind and stuff. That's not good. I won't lie and go out and land in the bunker.
Now from the bunker.
Just a little splash out on this par 3.
Well, not pretty, but it's going to work.
Yeah, look how quick that was. Very difficult to get that to stop, even out of the sand. And that race is right on by. So early on the
I knew it. I let go
the
too early.
12th hole, missed opportunity. So a tough hole. That's in for bogey at 12.
But I was saying, like, we kind of need to compare and contrast, because that is the saying is like each course in the EA game definitely feels very unique in regards to capturing like how the ball reacts or plays. And the reason for that is because each course got natural slopes, which I feel like even though they're in 2K, they don't seem to react as well or natural. But also they seem to do a better job in this game capturing like how the grass, like there's different kinds of grasses like Bermuda and so forth. That react differently depending where you are and so forth. Even the conditions of like the climate of the course, like where it's located in terms of like. We're in Charlotte to Pebble Beach, very different climates, so it's like it's going to react differently in regards to how the ball travels. Where out in Pebble Beach, it's probably going to travel a little less at times because it's a cooler climate. While in Charlotte, if you're there in the summer or even the warmer months, it's going to travel a little further. Or in terms of the humidity is a factor. Like there's a lot of little factors that comes into
Let's check in for the
how the ball
time.
reacts.
Notivigay the third.
He's got 144 yards remaining to the hole, sitting in the front left hole location.
Well, it's a little past the flag, but with the hole cut in the front third today, no surprise.
This one should work sharply to his right. It's for birdie.
I thought we had
he was hoping that would come down a little more, but that's good effort.
Oh, no.
Okay, safely in for par.
I'm starting to ignore those little short putts when they do that little slight break. It's been really discreet in my head at times. But yeah, I say not great. Not great, not terrible.
Our featured golfer down, but not out after day one.
They might have to take a standing eight though, or hit the reset button. This can easily go the wrong way very quickly. Tomorrow,
apologize for any background noise. Just kind
so that should just about do it for all of us at EA
Sometimes
Sports.
this mic picks up the vent.
Thanks for
there,
spending
one
some
of my
time
seats,
with
I'm moving
us
to another seat
on the road
couch.
to the Masters.
Oh, so I was kind of hinting earlier, they didn't really mention this commentary for this round. There was a weird... I thought it was off, so it said that people in the finals were there trying to get into the PGA Tour, they didn't qualify already. And what's weird though, it said the top 25, like I finished the season on the top 25, or top 20 actually. And yeah, I'm not in the PGA Tour, so I think it's a bug. I think what it really means is like, if you don't finish in the top 25 at the Korn Ferry Tour, then you go back to Korn Ferry Q School and try and qualify for the tour that way. Or basically do well enough to stay in the Korn Ferry, the minor league tour, basically. So, again, a little nitpicky, but it felt a little off
there. EA Sports and the Korn Ferry Tour are proud to feature some of the best young talent in the world of golf. From the world-famous Pebble Beach Golf Links, live second-round coverage of the Korn Ferry Tour Championship. But if we see more of what we witnessed yesterday, we're in for a heck of a battle these next 3 days as we show you the current leaderboard here on this Friday.
I think this is okay because I remember
a lot of
doing
folks
this
fighting for the title, including our leader.
But I don't want to overdrive it.
Time to head out to the course as we pick things up on the tee at the long par 5 6th. This one turning left a bit off the tee. No problems there. That's going to wind up safely in the fairway. Now from a little less than 200 yards, this a second to the par 5.
Now, believe it or not, this should get up there. It's just where it lands. Yeah, look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, mission accomplished. On into, didn't fly.
Yeah, so the only reason I know this well, there's a challenge that kind of is about elevation changes. There's on this hole, and I realized you didn't really need to do much to get up there. Because with these higher irons, you're going to have a lot of spin. You know, the lower shots are going to roll a lot more. I should say spin. They're going to roll more. So it's like you can easily be, you know, get to the green. Unless it depends, like, you know, they actually have to pin this location for that challenge. You can easily be in, you know, hit the front of the green. It's going to roll in the back because in its tournament conditions where the greens are really fast. Yeah. Oh.
That is a disappointment inside of 10 feet to not be able to get that one down.
That's okay. We're going to get a birdie at least.
Okay, well,
I would like the eagle.
It's a birdie here,
but, you know, you're still going under. We're making shots. That's what matters. The goal is to either you don't want to give up ground and you slowly gain ground. You're going to be okay. Obviously, the winners play these bigger shots. But it's like, look, right now we're just trying to get to the PGA Tour, then kind of go from there.
7th tee at Pebble Beach.
This one I have to struggle with.
It's one of those special places.
Just over 100 yards, Rich. It's the ultimate, I don't know, piece of cake. Where that's what it looks like, but then you try and taste it, and you want a little more.
Yeah, this is one of the most famous holes in golf. Like, it's pretty downhill. You only need a wedge shot, but it's like, you just look at it, it's just gorgeous. You know, it's right off the ocean here. That's Pacific Ocean. It's just beautiful. This game captured it really well. I'm curious to see how... when I do the comparison video down the road, I think I'll probably do Powerball and Tour. It'd be a good two I like to do. They also got TPC and stuff, but like a big issue and
Alright, you don't have to catch it on the middle of the
I wish I did better
time.
than that.
It's on the middle of the
drop,
dance floor and a birdie putt coming up. Birdie putt coming up.
But I was saying, yeah, the big issue with 2K graphics, like, I actually don't hate the graphics much, the textures for people, or how the people look, you know, the golfers. But water looks, it's probably the biggest negative in terms of the course graphics in that game. It just looks awful. It looks it just looks bad. There's no other way to put it. Alright, I'm not going to make that putt.
Yeah, that's a pretty good putt. Just a little bit off the mark. Yep, well done. That's in for par here at 7. And he's going to stay 2 back. We head now to the 416-yard 8th hole, one of the premier par 4s in golf. Fairway wood or long iron off the tee, giving way to a long approach over the cliffs and a yawning chasm below.
I would love to play Pebble Beach one day. And the reason I haven't is twofold. One, it's like, $500-ish to play there, and it's kind of... Oh, let me make my t-shirt and I'll explain some of the issues to play there.
He just
perfect. That's what
right
so
along.
A couple of the issues playing there's one. The main way to play there, you got to stay at the resort. Because they'll come in that runs Pebble Beach. They actually run multiple courses, but they also run like lodging and so forth. You kind of really need to stay at the lodges, they're lodging like hotels,
you have balls that are going to
houses or whatever they got basically. It's a resort, so it's not like a typical Marriott or like your Best Western down the road basically. I don't like that. Oh, I lucked out. I put some spin. I hope it helped. I could tell I was hooking to the prop. But I was saying, so it's like you got to really pay for these lodges to have a chance to get tee times. And for starters, the lodges aren't cheap at all. They're easily $700 to $1,000 a night, depending what it is, obviously. But oh no. That was weird. That didn't look like
that's still going to be a good 4 feet though coming back.
Oh, wow. I am struggling with these greens now.
That one finished off. It's a
brutal.
bogey
Anyway,
at number 8.
So, like,
that won't help,
you know, put in perspective,
it
really depends where you're at, obviously. But let's say like a Marriott Courtyard. It's a nice basic hotel, decent rooms, you know, good beds. You usually play minimum 100, but let's say 130 to 150 on average.
Really great shot. The tee shot
a lot of factors for those prices.
Down that left side. And the reason why if you
look
close is this fairway just
but,
everything
you know,
moves
roughly
to the right.
that. But it's like when I've looked at Pebble Beach,
it
doesn't really matter what time of year. And granted, it's a very seasonal, it's a year-round. It's a truly climate doesn't really change much year-round, which is why it's so pricey and expensive there. Yeah, it's a very unique climate. But basically, it's like every room I saw there is easily around 500 a night, probably more. You know, granted, this is like recollection on top of my head. I'm sure there's probably factors that as well when you're trying to book. So, you know, you got to stay there. Oh, you got to be kidding me. Oh,
well, that one's finished in the first cut. It's going to be a little bit harder to spin it from there with a little bit of grass around the ball, but still not too bad.
So it's saying that you got to spend that to get there. Oh, so a little spin. Anyway,
that's a good shot.
And then like each round, like a pebble, is usually another $500-ish or more.
Birdie putt coming up.
It's one of the most expensive courses you can play on in the US.
Gotta keep the pace up to hold
and then also on top of that, this is where I have a big issue, I guess, in terms of golf nowadays. Let me try and make this putt real quick.
Got it there, but not quite on target. So we'll clean that up.
Yeah, so I get why these famous courses are expensive, and I'm not really mad at that per se, but it's a very flawed way.
Starting the backside.
The prices are flawed for one major reason. So tell you the green cheese, let's say 450 to 500 per pebble. They might even be a little more, I'd be honest, on top of that. But I know they're around that range. But then you read about it, caddy required, which is another $7,500 for the caddy. Then it's it says required gratuity for the caddy, $50. So you need, basically you need to tip them. And I'll be honest, I would tip the caddies. They do a lot of work. That's not my issue. But you pay another $100 to get the caddy, then you got to pay another usually $50 in gratuity for the caddy. Like and the thing is, it's one thing if it was like not required. Like you want to get the caddy because you want him, not because you rather go out there on your own and figure out on your own. No, you're required to get the caddy. You see a lot of these courses like Pebble Beach, Erin Hills, Whistling Straits. I believe
looking for a strong finishing kick here on this Friday to get set up for the weekend.
That's a little
cheaper. Another
different
good
story
drive
there.
here.
So, but it's like you got to spend. You're already spending $500 for the round, but it's not really $500. It's more like $650 to $700. You add in all the extra crap that they force you to buy. Like a fucking plane ticket, basically. And look, I want to be fair. Like when you go to these courses, they're splurge. They're like a lifetime splurge. Once in like I'm here, I'm going to do it once situation. But it's like, to me, just be upfront with the whole total costs. Don't give me this fucking crap of like, oh well, technically that doesn't include caddy.
And safely
95% of the time you just stay here to get a tee time. Random when there's a tee time available, you're not staying here. No, in reality you're spending about, let's say $500 for the room, $500 for the round, $150 for the caddy with gratuity, another $200-ish in taxes. You're already spending $1,400 for one round. That's what it's at. That's what it should say. You should say that from the beginning, instead they don't. They try to really tell you, it's only $450 to play Pebble Beach. And in reality, it's bullshit. It's not $450. It's nowhere near close to that fucking price to play Pebble Beach. I don't know how that worked because I screwed that up, but I'll take it.
That slope, it is in for a birdie. He moves it to 2 under par. So for our featured golfer, Frank, it is on to the weekend. Who knows? If you get out early on Saturday, try and post a number, see what happens.
Exactly. There's such a fine line, Reg.
So we were at...
Sort of not struggling, but just mediocre. Putt goes in here or there.
So we're at 3 under.
That could easily change tomorrow. Make a couple of birdies early. Typical. Pop a long one in, then all...
I'm going to be fair. I could play all 4 rounds and offset this a bit, but... you know, this is the Korn Ferry Tour. I do think I'm going to switch to the 4 rounds off and on, and then the PGA Tour, it kind of depends when I want to do it. So I have did a full round. It's a good 45 minutes to do a full round, which, you know, I get golf. Excuse me, but it does take a little longer than the 2K games. It is more so the presentation and so forth. But yeah, there's my rant about golf prices. And granted, I wouldn't be fair, I get it.
Are proud to bring you
it's one of the most gorgeous, famous courses on earth. But it's just, I just get so annoyed with
Beach Golf Links,
the pricing. What they say is not really accurate to the total of what you'll spend. And that turns me just playing the round, to get on there and play the round. I'm not even including food or beverage or stuff that's truly optional. I mean, like what's actually required to get onto the course.
And our featured golfer, 4 shots.
And honestly, you see that with even like regular courses. It's like, oh, it's only like $60. That's great. But cart $20 extra. It's like, well, I don't want a cart. Well, require a cart. Not all of them do that. You know, some included, some. But it's like, you know, it's like. At least, like, you get the option to walk, but there are some courses I've seen they kind of force the cart on you, too. Not many, I would say, to be fair, but it's like, you know, again, then the cost is not really $60, it's more $75 to $80 when you add the cart in that you're required to get.
Out to be a wonderful Saturday of golf here.
So again,
this,
just, you know, for me, included everything. I always hate that with a lot of shit nowadays. It's like,
going to take a big.
You know, it's like a rental car. You know, you want to get a rental car.
To the par 5.
I'm going to take the chance if we can get up there. Sorry, I'm not actually looking at the strategy. So, real quick, let's look at the strategy here. My 3-wood power approach technically does not reach it, but remember, 3-woods are going to roll. It's going to roll a bit, but we're going uphill by 34 feet. So here's what's going to happen. It's going to probably land before that. I just don't know how it's going to roll. So we're going to see how it's going to land, and we're going to try and add some spin from extra roll on that. Well, I can tell it does not look good. Let's hope it just stops. Perfect, yeah. I know when it spin, it was going right for that bunker.
Bit of that 3-wood trying to get home to this par 5.
It's not good having out the bunker. Is, you know, it's a lot better to chip it. I gotta be careful. This is uphill, so we gotta get it over. Yep, I screwed up. I screwed up royally right there. Yep. I didn't do enough. I was afraid of that. I couldn't really tell. Well, the good news... Actually... Yeah, we'll chip it up again. We gotta make this. But anyway, I was saying it's like a rental car. They give you this price, but they don't really show what the taxes are, which is usually a lot. There's taxes for rental cars aren't your typical. Oh man, I was really hoping for an easier putt than this. I hate these. Oh my god, I thought we made it. That was nerve-wracking. Anyway, I was saying it's like rental cars. They'll say like, I don't know, let's say $750 for a week. You know, like
15th, a good drive.
5 plus days.
Be right down the middle.
And this is your total is 900.
17 miles.
Well, that's the taxes and additional fees. Including the airport where you're usually in a rental car. Not always. Let's say you're going to rent a car from a local place, but you know, generally think of rental cars, you're going to find some rental cars. So in reality, it's not $750. It's more like, actually, I'd say $900.
But really, it's the
$150 in fees and taxes. Airline, same thing. Ooh, round trip, so $300. But your total would be $420 after adding all the taxes and fees. And you look at the taxes and the fees, you know, they get a little ridiculous. Remember, I think it's still there. Sorry, I'm just thinking of the shot. I remember, like, I came back from like Europe once, and I look at my ticket, and it says, you know, it showed the taxes and the fees and receipt. And one was like a 9/11 security fee. It was like $12, $14. You know, not horrible. It's
just 92
total money.
yards
It's like
for his second to this par
9/11, and then one of them had U.S. agricultural fee or tax too. And I'm like, Jesus. Like, look, I don't mind. You know, first of all, explain to me what all this is, but B, just including the total up front. Yeah, okay, yeah, when you break the receipt down, sure, but you know, if it's going to be $850, you know, let's say $500 for a flight, that's $500, not $320. You know, it's really $500. You're all said and done. I don't care what the price is if you don't include anything else that I still have to pay for down the road. I don't like this. Yeah, we'll putt it still. Well, anyway, that's Patrick's TED Talk for the day. A little more. Oh, Patrick, that's right, they don't include the distance.
10-foot putt.
Idiot. Oh,
good putt.
Man, every par has been nerve-wracking so far.
He'll stay at 5 under.
I think I'm very good to make to the PGA, but I just don't want to take any chances.
Playing one of the greatest finishing stretches.
But that said, it's kind of interesting to see the comparison with 2K, which I didn't record this. This is like a long time ago I played it. I was seeing I got 3 wins of move on, so I didn't play much of the Korn Ferry Tour. Partially due to the settings. I took a Sprint Temple, which I really struggled with and didn't like at all. But, you know, having said that, it was kind of, here it's been a little more challenging, especially with the fast round, so it's kind of like, you know, a little more, you know, letting the computer kind of dictate some things. So it's like going through the whole, their version of the Korn Ferry Tour. It's 10 events. In reality, it's a full season, about, I don't know, 30 to 40, roughly, I think. When I was looking at the schedule recently. You know, but anyway, that said, so, oh no, I screwed up.
So, he's actually human. A fairway miss. That one goes into the rough. I wonder what's going to happen next.
Might just punch this. I don't know how this is going to work. Oh, this is bad. There's like no room here. We're going to just see how this goes. Nope. Wait. Wait. Stop. No. Oh, no.
And that ball's trajectory definitely altered by the leaves, as that'll wind up
we were not ready for that.
in the heavy stuff.
I'm going to bogey this hole. I just know it. Alright, but I was saying, so it's kind of nice to kind of go through the full, you know, quote, their season. And also kind of like get to the finals and so forth. And actually kind of give it a little more challenge. Like, I think the challenge in this game has been good. Like, it's been difficult at times, but it feels balanced. It doesn't feel horrible. Oh, man, that was such a tease. You know, it doesn't feel horrible. You know, it's like, here you go, I did it a bogey again, but I've had birdies, I've had chances, I just misputt or misread.
For a bogey at 16.
So, you know, it's a good, to me overall, I think it's a very well balanced game in terms of difficulty. And I'll be honest, I'm playing arcade now just to help with my swing issues.
Well, here we are,
like
17th hole.
The controller.
This is where you can make
but it's
your
like,
mark on this
even on
game.
arcade,
So
it's got a nice, it's forgiving, but still a fun challenge. And when I did pro, definitely less forgiving, but again, a fun challenge. I can't imagine the higher difficulties.
You go back to
I
1972, and this whole played in the breeze.
I think it's Apex Town YouTube channel, very good channel by the way. That I watched,
hit the flagstick, nearly went in. And of course, one of my favorites is 1982. Tom Watson had missed the screen to the left, and the late Bruce Edwards was his caddy.
I don't think you turn out the putting grid.
They were
we turn
looking
out
for options because they were in such a perilous
so it's
situation.
like, and that happened in challenges too. We don't have the putt.
And Watson said, well,
won't
what
give
about
me
if I just
automatic
hold it?
read.
And if you look really closely at the footage, as Watson starts to run across the green, he's pointing his finger back at Bruce and saying, I told you so. And then just a few years ago, too, Gary Woodland had a chip it on this green and made four.
All right, you take those all day long. On the green, chance for birdie coming up.
But yeah, overall, I'd say this has been a very good game. I've really liked it. I'm very impressed. Looks gorgeous. To me, the biggest impression to me that I really do like, every course has felt different how it plays and reacts, which to me, that is very realistic in terms of the game of golf, and I really like that.
Yes, the speed spot.
I feel like every putt I'm on my head. Dead it's like so intense.
And he'll move now to 5 under par. Well, here we are now at arguably the greatest finishing hole in golf. 536-yard par 5. Pacific Ocean, massive fairway bunker stretching more than 100 yards on the left.
This is one of the other most famous, one of the famous holes in golf. Is par 5 of the ocean. There's several at Pebble Beach, but the reason why this is one of the most famous, you have a lot of U.S. Opens finish here. Obviously, it's an annual PGA event that finishes here. So yeah, it's just absolutely gorgeous. You got the cliffs, I say cliffs. That's not the right phrase, but it's like you got the rocks right there, the ocean. I mean, it's just like for me, I would love to play this one day. I really would. Spin.
Turning out to be a wonderful Saturday of golf here, and this
for the pros, that tree is usually not a big issue, but it's funny. Like as an amateur, I'd be like, a tree, I am going to get so screwed right now, and I'll be like run underneath it. Put the tree in front of me, like I'll be behind the tree with the towards the green. The tree's blocking everything. That'd be my luck, and it's happened before. Actually, hold on one second, sir. I gotta rethink this. This is a 3-wood. I got wind, so let's see how this goes. Of course, I overhit it. So this is the wind. Okay, no spin. I'm not gonna do any extra spin. That is perfect. I thought that was going to work. I didn't want to do the 3-wood. The 3-wood would probably carry it and hit the front of the green, but it's going to have a lot more roll, and I would have no control. While the 3-iron, it would be a little shorter, but with that extra roll from the 3-irons, the less loft was going to have more roll. It was going to roll on okay, and that's what I wanted. So, let's say right here. Alright, I won't make this. That's okay. We'll take a birdie. I know I wanted to do eagle. I've only done a couple eagles in this game, but yeah, I'm happy with birdies.
Okay, birdie at the last. It is a birdie finish. And that will mean this is a Saturday score of 68.
Yeah, top 10. We're running standings overall, like in terms of the season. That is perfect. The goal is to get the PGA Tour card. That's all that matters now. Yes, quests and wins are great. We're just trying to get to the next level. Look at that. Technically 7th, but I guess it's including potential points. Actually, real quick before we kind of, that's a bug. It says world ranking in reality, and it starts with Korn Ferry. There are world rankings in reality, but it doesn't really matter here. Yeah, so this is having the season, but this is kind of cool. Like, look at this. We got statistics here. So I am one of the longest. Now the average drive is 292, longest drive is 348. So, you know, it's funny. I'm a power hitter technically, but it's like I've only leveled that up really for the par threes and stuff that were killing me earlier. So now it's like a benefit. But it's, those longer drives, it's more just getting the roll and finding the right spots in the fairways to get extra distance. But the thing I care about, fairway regulation, so basically 85% of the time in the fairway. But here you go. This one's like, you know, approach the green. Yeah, approach the green. So I have a good approach. But then around the green, I'm really bad. That's where it's funny. It says my sand saves are bad, but I feel like I've done better in the save than that. But I've had a lot of bogeys when I am off. And then putting's pretty good. But it's funny. I think the putting's flawed here. Not just the stats. The stats probably realistic. But that 1.7 is more so because I've had so many issues around the green where I one putt for par. So it's like, oh, he's one putting a lot. Yeah, to save par, you know. Otherwise, I'm dying out there. So kind of funny. It's like one of those little statistics that's a little manipulated depending on the situation. I need to get more clothes. You know, real quick, just for fun. We're going to my golfer. Oh, whoops. I keep mixing it up. Oh yeah, this is the bag I got. So I was really happy about this. I just want to rotate. There we go. So I have issues with the store, which I'll say that for a future video. But this did pop up. It says 2021 season opener, but what TaylorMade does, they create these bags for majors, and this is one for the Masters. So see, if you look right underneath the handle, it shows a little like flower. You know, it's like that's for like Augusta. You know, it's a green themed bag representing the Masters. This is like a bag they use for the Masters only, and then they switch those bags out. Yeah, the golfers, and they go back to like a regular bag. They also usually do one for like the U.S. Open and British Open, but they had it in the store. I've seen this like in their Instagram and you know, the actual real life version of the bag, you know, on their social media. So I thought it was really cool to put this in the store. Really glad to have it in terms of the game. I would love to have it in real life, but they charge like $250, $300 for the actual bag. I've also upgraded the. That's all tied to the bag. Irons. I was really happy about this too. Well, I won't switch out, but yeah, got Mizuno, got Titleist, so pretty cool. Also got Titleist ball, so golf hat. Oh yeah. The last thing I didn't want to show you. But yeah, you see, if you look at my feet, got these Nike Air Jordans ones. Again, it's like randomly shows up in the store, these items, and I caught it when there was in there, so. But anyway, this time I want to show that off a little bit. Back to this, we'll finish this round. Calling that with the stream.
EA Sports and the Korn Ferry Tour.
Hopefully when we're done, we're
best young talent
moving on from the Korn Ferry Tour.
From the Monterey Peninsula and Pebble Beach, the big one, live final round coverage of the Korn Ferry Tour Championship. It is the great challenge that all these golfers face, trying to string 4 solid rounds together, trying to best Mother Nature and this course, and trying to beat the entire field as we check the leaderboard. Some good names up there, including our leader.
So one thing
let's get out to the course
so
already
far,
deep into the round.
so there's 30 courses in this game,
on the par 4 15.
And you know, I've run into a couple of them so far, you know, like trans and stuff, but overall, surprisingly, it hasn't gotten old. I think because how the courses play differently, and like I guess the best way to put it, compared to like 2K, you know, the PGA 2K 2.3 or even 2K 2.1.
Well, you can't walk out and drop it any better than that. That is a fine tee shot right there.
Each course feels like they play differently, and despite how, let's say, you know, I played Band
from
Dunes
a little more than 70 yards, this is second.
It's felt different each time, you know. Or I say it didn't feel different each time, but it's like I do that, and I go play Coal Hollow, a completely different course. So when it feels like in 2K, and granted, I'll probably do a video kind of covering this more in depth, I should say. Hold on one second. Let me do my approach shot. Oh, don't roll off.
Okay, that's acceptable
okay.
there.
Anyway. I think what helps, and when I was thinking about this earlier,
the third for this look at birdie,
is that in this game, that the course variety is pretty vast. Like, Pebble Beach is very different from Coral Hollow. TPC Sawgrass is very different from Brookline Country Club or Southern Hills. Like, it's a wide range of courses in terms of how they play, look, feel, conditions in terms of like Mother Nature. And I think the big issue I have with 2K
pretty good effort, but
is a lot of courses don't variety too much. There are some, like they have the TPC Sawgrass, they got Pebble Beach, they got Torrey Pines, which is in this game. But like they have a lot of the courses are really they're relying on the TPC network. And that is the Players Championship Network, which is actually run and operated by the PGA Tour. And they do quite a few tournaments there. There's actually different tournaments there in this game. Obviously, that game.
Well, if you want to pick up something
that big reason. But my point is, the big issue with the TPC courses, they're really good courses. I played at one, Deer Run, up here in Western Illinois. Gorgeous course, well run. But the designs are really built in terms of what they call the stadium concept. And what the stadium concept means, and you kind of see this at Pebble Beach and a lot of these older courses that can be built to handle, large, like large grandstands, stadium atmospheres. And with that, it kind of comes with certain design elements that are very prevalent at their courses. And because of that, it's like it gets a little boring at times. Like, you go to TPC Deer Run, I made the same mistake again, didn't I? Yep.
Well, it's in the first cut.
I was saying it's like Deer Run and let's say Twin Cities, TPC Twin Cities.
Second shot now from just a foot or two off the fairway.
It doesn't feel too different at times. Like, it feels like a lot of similarities in terms of the lakes and the layout. Obviously the conditions, because they have a lot of Midwest courses. Like, hold on a second. I'm trying to think how this shot's going to be. I think this. Well, back to back, I made the same mistake. Oh my god. Oh no, one second. Let's see. I'm gonna bogey this hole again on there. That's not bad. Alright.
Nope.
Yeah,
not gonna get there.
Pull back enough. But I was saying, it's like, that's probably the biggest difference in this issue. And I do a video, I think eventually going to go more in depth, but kind of broadly speaking, is the courses that are official, like in terms of what 2K develops, and that's the license courses, not the fancy ones they got, is that the TPC network is honestly a little boring at times. Like, they have actually I don't think it's actually in the game to be fair, but it's like, one is like Craig Ranch, which they're going to, and 2 weeks from now, and it's just a boring, it's just a boring course to watch, and design is not very good. That's mean. I don't mean not very good, but it's like not super unique that stands out. And like Pebble Beach with the views and the bunkers and so forth, or like Coal Hollow to an extent with the Green Mile. Like, it's very a sort of average. I think I'll stop. Yeah.
Okay, that one's dancing.
So, and that's probably the big difference I've seen between this game and 2K. That the courses, despite there's only 30, there's no course creator, which is a different element altogether.
Not an easy one.
But like at least in this game, it does feel like each course is truly unique how it plays and feels. That it's hard to capture that, and it really shows that the team behind this game definitely took their time going there and try to capture how these courses feel and so forth. I thought that was
not quite on target.
Like you look at the rough being around those bunkers, like it looks like that in real life. To an extent, I'm sure it's a little, you know, does each piece of feed or grass stand out like that? Like some it's going to the grass, like the sand. They would not do that in real life, you know. That's a technical bug there, in my opinion, but. It does look like that in real life. In regards, they have that thick kind of extra length grass around those bunkers. I think it's a little bit of a fest. While some of the other bunkers, like if you look at Harbor Town in this game, they're more like the bunkers you see right here off the ocean. You know, kind of wide open, no really super thick high grass in front of it. It's just kind of like a nuisance if you land in there. Okay, you can still play. It's just going to alter your swing, and then you got to adjust for that. Well, like with the bunkers, like in that part 3, it's more like, okay, if I'm actually going over, I hope I get in the bunker over the super thick rock. While the grass around like these like bunkers here, or like say Harbor Town, it's just more like this regular, you know, rough or like a second cut. Which again, if you're at least there, this alters your shot a little less compared to like thick rough.
That will do just fine.
We got wind though. Yeah, this should be okay. Okay, it's going to be a long putt for Eagle.
Well, Frank, it is a pleasant walk under any circumstances, but how good is it when you knock it on in 2 here at the 18th?
Yeah, there's a light break there.
It's a lot better than picking one out of the Pacific Ocean, Rich. That was just a great shot. And finally, you can exhale. The job is nearly finished.
Just off.
That would have been a good one to convert on.
Take the birdie.
Instead, that'll be left for birdie. Yeah, that's well played. It's a birdie at 18. And this will be a 72 for this final round. Well, that'll wrap it up for us today. We saw a lot of great golf, Frank.
The course was good. It was gettable for some, but you know, in the end, it really gave you what you deserve, just the way we want it.
And that'll do it for our entire team. I'm Rich Lerner. Until next time.
All right, well, let's see how this promotion works. Perfect. Yeah. Keeping it normal. Yeah, so a lot more chances here. Oh, okay. Well, it's nice. You can always change this over time. EA Sports Championship. Yeah. Alright. This is like nerd flaw here. So last season, this game was supposed to come out last year. It got delayed basically a year. The playoffs were the top 125. They actually now lowered to only the top 70. A lot of reasons for that. I'll probably explain that in the future when I get to the playoffs. But yeah, I find that a little funny. I'm curious if they'll do an update or maybe say that for a sequel. But yeah, I thought that was a little funny. But yeah, let's before I end this video, I do want to take a look at this here. Oh, this is great. I've already kind of seen this in the like the trailer where I did see it. So I guess the first thing, and I'll explain this probably down in the future. So technically, this is not the real week one. The real week one is actually Kapalua in Hawaii and then the Sony Open. This is actually the first event in the mainland. But this is a real event. This is part of called the West Coast Swing, and in fact, they got the entire West Coast Swing, which makes me happy. The first, not 5 weeks, but from week 3 through 7 is some of my favorite events every year. I love these tournaments, even the American Express, which I'll save my commentary. Like one thing I want to do with some of these tournaments, I'm thinking, and when I go through them, I kind of go over like, I guess what kind of they mean, the history, like they're all very fascinating. But yeah, this is a really cool. I'm curious how you qualify for that. We'll see when we get there. Technically, this should be an elevated event, different situation. See, there you go. They're gonna have fake tournaments kind of filling up the end. But you think about this: the first 7 events, only one is made up, and that's this one. That's an alternate event. Makes sense. That's real. Yeah, see, that's a made-up event. Oh, that's Chambers Bay. So that's an EA Sports Channel. They got a few made-up ones. So I'm thinking with this one, so basically it's supposed to be the match play event. That's not in either game, so that's kind of what's taking its place. That should be the Texas Open. Then we got the Masters. I'm really happy to have this. I love this tournament. It's actually going on right now as I'm recording this video. So, ironically, this event would be the Zurich Classic. That's actually in 2K. I actually should try and get to that and play it. I'm curious if it actually includes the real standards of having partners or not. Yeah, this wouldn't happen. See, you go from the French, like, the PGA doesn't try to go from Europe back and forth too often, only run the British Open and the Scottish Open. This is a flawed one, it's kind of a fill-in one here, but it makes sense. That's a real event, good tournament, we were talking about that earlier in the beginning of the video. Yeah, see, made up. We don't go back to Pebble Beach. Very good to have that, the PGA. Second major of the year. Yeah, so Olympic National, they actually used to be a playoff event. Yeah, so back here. Yeah, so it's really the summer that kind of lackluster. Like, we got nothing between the majors here. But, you know, that's okay. You know, they've done a lot. I'm very impressed with this. Yeah, and then the final playoffs are on it. So overall, pretty cool. The majors, I'm really happy, but it is kind of one of those. This is gonna be one of those seasons where it's really awesome early on. They kind of lackluster later on to the playoffs in terms of what they got licenses. But really happy they got a lot of this. This makes me happy. So, but anyway, I think this is a good place to end it. So I hope you guys enjoy and have a good night.